Okay, I think I'm live. Hi guys. I tried to get on my computer, but that didn't work for some reason. So I don't know if it's going live right now or not, because it didn't work on my computer, so I had to switch over to my phone. So welcome everyone. I am stepping in for Tracy Gibbs for In the Lab, and he has big shoes to fill, really, so I'm a little nervous, and especially when you have technical difficulties, it's a little nerve-wracking at the very beginning. So first, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to share with you guys. My passion is to help people with their health. And when I got a call from Ronnie and Rob just a few hours ago asking if I could fill in for this live and I got to pick a topic, I'm like, sure. I had such a busy day. So my topic tonight is on sleep. And the reason why I picked this topic is because if you've been following me for some time on social media, I love talking about gut health, everything gut health. I love talking about poop, digestion, and that is one of my favorite topics to speak on. But there's a reason why I picked sleep, because too many times when I see clients, sleep is so neglected, and you can have all the good nutrition in the world. So I say that sleep is king, because if you can't have sleep, you can't absorb, you can't detox, and I'll get into all of that. So how I'm going to cover tonight, I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to go over the importance of sleep, hormones, brain function, along with the lack of sleep, and weight loss. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some tips to help you sleep better and have a good sleep routine. And I'm super excited because there's times during the night that is so important to sleep, and I'm going to give you the time frames that we need to sleep and the certain hormones that our body secretes to be able to secrete those hormones and to be able not only to have a good night rest, to lose weight, not just weight, but fat, and to have better brain function. So thank you so much for tuning in. Put in the comments where you're tuning in from. I'm here live from Minnesota. We had a big snowstorm. We didn't have snow at all winter long. And then we got dumped with over a foot of snow, and it's still snowing now. So before I start, this was on my heart to share with you guys. And I got confirmation right before I got on live. About a week ago, I was talking to a friend and I said these words, and I bet you say these words all the time and you don't even know it. And this word is, or these words are, I need to. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I need to lose weight. I need to go to the gym. I need to make that phone call. I need to do this. I need to do that. I was saying, I need to do more lives. And then in the middle of my, in the middle of my conversation, in the middle of that sentence, I stopped myself. I'm like, wait a second, I'm going to reword this, because the power is in the tongue. And instead of saying, I need to, saying, I wonder when I'm going to start doing more lives. And lo and behold, Ronnie called me today, and here I am. So if you find yourself saying, I need to do this, I need to lose weight, I need to go to the gym, I need to make the phone calls, I need to, do X, Y, Z, reword it to I wonder when, because the brain is not stopping at I need to. It's actually allowing it to solve some problems and saying, okay, it's always wanting to get to the next stage. So that was on my heart, and I got confirmation. I had to share that with you guys, and it kind of was relevant because here I am doing the live. So we're going to talk about the sleep. A little bit about myself. If you haven't met me, my name is Becca. I'm a certified holistic nutrition practitioner. I've been in the industry, the health, wellness, fitness industry for 28 years, probably 29 years now. I started in the teaching group fitness, then I went into personal training, then I started school to become a nurse. I got bit by a deer tick. I came down with Lyme's disease. I saw multiple doctors. They couldn't give me the answers. I had chronic fatigue, chronic pain all the time, depression, saw all these doctors, blood work, everything was fine. I said, enough is enough. I'm gonna start finding out what is happening. So I started studying on how food can heal the body. So I went back to school to become a holistic nutritionist, and now I'm back again in school. I probably will never stop studying. I'm back in school to become a naturopath doctor. So that's a little bit my background, where I'm at. So here we are. I'm gonna ask you questions. Do you remember the last time that you got a good night's sleep? Like really a good night's sleep. Like you didn't wake up in the middle of the night. You were able to fall asleep good. You woke up refreshed and had all this energy the next day. Do you remember? Was it last night? Was it over the weekend? Was it a week ago? Was it weeks, months ago? Or has it been years and years and years that you haven't gotten a good night's sleep? And the reason why I ask that is because too many times we get into this rut of we're used to sleeping 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours, and we find that to be the normal, our normal. Saying, well, I'm functioning, but really is our body fully functioning and how we can, bring ourselves fully into the world, being more present with our kids and our coworkers, and our brain is working, at optimal levels. Are we really that? Is our normal set low or is our normal set high? So we sleep about 1/3 of our life. So it's super important to be able to get into that restful night's sleep. And three-quarters of adults don't get enough sleep at all. Yes, I'm seeing all the comments, nope, not getting enough sleep. And we don't sleep very much at all. And when we don't sleep, we're not able to produce hormones. We're not able to lose weight. Our energy is low. Our motivation is low. And so this affects our overall life. And did you know there's research out there, just 1 week of poor sleep, night after night for 1 week, if you got blood work done, you'd be considered pre-diabetic. Isn't that amazing? Like 1 week of poor sleep. Think of all these people that are so sleep deprived, not just for a week, for months and years and years and years. And they have these heart conditions and pre-diabetic, diabetic, and other things just because the number one most important thing that we need to do and we neglect every single night, or not the majority, but we neglect it and getting into that nice REM sleep. So it's super important. So when we're sleeping, our body is recovering. We have our day and night cycle. We have our daytime. It's our sympathetic nervous system. It's our fight and flight. It's our active phase. And then we have our parasympathetic is our rest, digest, restore, and repair. And it's super important. Like if we're not repairing at night, then we're waking up with an empty tank to go into the next day. And if we're not repairing at night, the body is utilizing muscle, body mass, muscle instead of fat to repair and to use for energy, because we're looking for that energy. So we have these neurotransmitters in our brain, and when they become imbalanced because of the lack of sleep, we have low energy, our memory is not good, we have maybe anxiety, stress, worry, brain fog, maybe we're more sensitive or make bad decisions throughout the day, when these neurotransmitters become kind of wacky in our brain because of the lack of sleep. So think about it. Think of the time that you're just super excited to go see a friend. Maybe you won a lottery, or you went for a joy ride, or you got a raise at work, or you ate your favorite piece of cake, you know? All of these are neurotransmitters that are the feel good, and they're chemicals in our brain that makes us feel amazing. But also there's other chemicals in the brain that makes us feel maybe we're anxious or worried, or we're nervous to do a presentation, or we're afraid for, a phone call that we're gonna get because of surgery, or, maybe we get fired from a job. All of these also produce neurotransmitters and chemicals in the brain that make us feel this anxious and depressed and worried and stress and all of these. But these are normal things that are up and down. But when these become out of balance, this is when things kind of get out of whack in our body. And that's when we start craving the junk food and the sugar. And maybe we start making bad decisions, or maybe we get addicted to drugs and alcohol, or, the addiction of being on social media or shopping and all of that. Those are all our neurotransmitters and chemicals in the brain that become out of whack. And what I love with LifeWise, we have a great brain product that you just stick on your tongue and absorbs, and it gets straight to the brain. It doesn't use your digestion, and it helps with our brain health. And so the reason why these chemicals become imbalanced, there's multiple reasons. One is that we're probably not eating, the right amount of foods and the nutrients. Maybe another is we're not able to absorb the nutrients because we have poor gut health with low stomach acids or inflammation in the gut, like IBS or celiacs, or low stomach acids. And so our gut actually produces serotonin, and this is our feel-good hormone. It's another neurotransmitter and hormones that, we have the gut-brain connection that is happening. So sleep is so important. So when we ask ourselves, why is sleep so important? You can be eating healthy, you can be exercising, but if you're not getting the right amount of sleep, or the right type of sleep, all of that just goes out the window, and you're not going to be able to have optimal health. So I always say sleep is king, detoxification and nutrition is queen. So it's super important because we're sleeping a third of our lives. So lack of sleep, we don't have the focus. The increase of diabetes and heart disease and weight gain, and also decreases our immune system because it helps with really boosting our immune system. And there's also studies out there that show that for Alzheimer's patient, they have this buildup in this enzyme in their brain, and this enzyme builds up when our body is not sleeping. And I'll go over that in just a second. So when you have a good understanding the importance of sleep, you're going to want to go to sleep at these earlier times. Trust me. And if you follow these rules, then you're going to be so much happier with life because it goes a lot smoother. Have you ever stayed up, pulled it all-nighter, studying for a test, and the next morning you can't remember anything because the brain is not able to detox and store it? So when we're sleeping, we have these hormones that are happening in our body. One of them is melatonin. That's our most common one. We know, it's our sleep hormone. It is. When we wake up in the morning, our cortisol levels are at its highest. And then as the day goes on, our cortisol levels go down and our melatonin goes up. And we get into the sleep cycle. Another hormone that happens at night is serotonin is secreted, and serotonin is secreted through the gut. So when the gut is repairing itself, it secretes these feel-good hormones. So the melatonin fixes your and regulates your hormones. The serotonin helps with the mood, and there's another hormone called arginine vasotocin, and this is your natural painkiller. So this happens right at the beginning of the night when we're falling asleep, is this natural painkiller that our body has. And if we're burning it up, and if it's laying, if it's in this here, I wrote it down because I knew I was kind of messing it up. Hold on. So when we use it up, it leaves a waste. And if you don't sleep to get rid of it, the next night it won't release. So it won't release if we're using it up. So the next night, we're not going to have this natural painkiller. And how do you release it if you're not sleeping? Well, exercise is a great way to release these natural painkillers as well, so we can start secreting it again. Also, another thing with getting the right amount of sleep. So even if you're not getting enough sleep, you need some natural painkillers. We have the Restore, which is your natural anti-inflammatory. You can add that into your day-to-day, and that's why I love LifeWise, because everything that Dr. Tracy has formulated, it fits so well into our day-to-day life for overall health. And when I started my health journey, I learned that it's not, you don't want to address just like, oh, I got a stomach ache, let's just look at your stomach. Or I have, a pain here, I have brain fog, let's look at the brain. That everything happens, is beginning and ends at the cellular level. So if your cells are not able to produce the energies, if the cells are not able to detox the toxins or get the nutrients in, then it's not functioning right. And that's when I first started my journey and I started understanding this. It's like, why haven't they taught this like in everyday school? Why aren't the doctors telling us that everything begins at the cellular level? You're only as healthy as the individual cells that you have in your body. And that's why I love that everything that we have at LifeWise, it gets to on the cellular level to repair the body. So let's go back to at the middle of the night when we're sleeping. We have our two cycles. You know your REM, your rapid eye movement, and then you have your non-rapid eye movement. So your REM happens more towards the end of the night, towards the morning. This is when the dreaming happens. This is when all the filing happens of things that are going on throughout the day. It just files it, in your brain. You're also creative. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, let's say 2 or 3 in the morning, most likely you won't remember your dream. But if you're waking up, 3 to 5 in the morning, most likely you'll remember your dream. And then you fall back asleep trying to, keep that dream going or want another dream. So, and then you have your non-REM, and this is when the cleaning happens. So this is so important. The cleaning process happens in the non-rapid eye movement. And this happens at the beginning of the night. So it's so important when you understand what time of night you should be getting to bed to clean your brain, because your brain does not have a circulatory system. So your brain at night actually shrinks just a little bit, and all the spinal fluid engulfs all those burnt up neurons and glucose and sends it into our circulatory system to push it out, all those toxins. And if we're not sleeping at night, then we wake up with an empty tank. or we wake up with a full toxic load of our bucket is overflowing, and then we're wondering why we have chronic inflammation and fatigue and brain fog and pain everywhere, is because our bucket is overflowing because we're not able to detox. And this is where they found that Alzheimer's have all this buildup toxins and burnt, like still in the brain, because they're not able to, to burn it off or to circulate it and get rid and toxin out. So here are the times. Are you ready? Between 9 and 10 p.m. at night. This is your non-rapid eye movement. You have 80% of the cleaning. So most of your cleaning for the brain and the body happens between 9 and 10:30 at night. You're probably going, gee, I don't get to bed till like 11, 12. Well, between 10:30 and midnight, it drops down to 60% of the cleaning. Yes, midnight to 1:30 in the morning, it's about 50-50. So 50% is the cleaning in the non-rapid eye movement, 50% in the rapid eye movement, when that creativity and brain and the filing of everything is happening. After 1:30 to like 3 in the morning, 40% of the cleaning happens. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. drops down to 20% of the cleaning. The rest is the creativity and the storing and all of that that's happening. So that is what's happening in the middle of the night when we're sleeping. So if you are one that at night on your phone scrolling through Facebook, through TikTok, going down all those rabbit holes, I can be guilty of that. If you turn around, look at the clock, 10 p.m., shut that phone off, saying, I need to clean this body out. I need to get into the restorative state so the next morning I'm more refreshed, So once you understand all of that, also in the middle of the night, towards kind of in the beginning between 10 and 2 a.m., that's when our human growth hormones happen. And you've probably heard of HGH. So our human growth hormones, we have a ton of these when we're adolescents. And this is when, we burn the most fat and our tissues are repairing and rejuvenating. So it's very important to have these hormones. But rest assured, we still make this HGH as adults. So it's super important to get into that sleep. Between 10 and 2, the most human growth hormone is secreted. And it also promotes the breakdown of fat as well. So if you're in a fat loss journey, you need to get into, especially between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., have this solid night's sleep so you can produce the human growth hormone to help break down the fat. It will find fat and break it down for energy. And then also, if you're increasing the muscle mass, then you can burn more fat at rest and you have a higher metabolic rate. So there are some studies out there, and I'm going to wrap it up in the next few minutes, that people who don't sleep, they have 50% less fat loss. So 50% less fat loss if they're sleeping sleeping less than 5 hours a night. They also have shown that they are consuming 400 extra calories a day. And I've actually read multiple studies. One had said 400 extra calories a day. The other one said between 200 and 400 extra calories per meal. So think about that. When we're not getting enough sleep, our body is craving that energy, and the energy that we get comes from food. And it comes from a lot of usually unhealthy foods because, that is that quick energy that the body needs for burning. So at the University of Chicago, they did the study, and the ones that slept 5.5 hours lost 60% less body fat. And then 63% of that lost more muscle mass compared to those who slept more. So in reality, when we're not sleeping, we're losing what we want to keep, which is the muscle, and we're keeping what we want to lose, which is the fat, right? So we have to get into that sleep, get into, and that's why I love Tracy's Dream product, is because literally I was one that had the hardest time falling asleep all the time. I would lay in bed for hours because my brain would just go and go and go. I could not shut my brain down. And as soon as I take the Dream, it's literally like a light switch that just kind of dims it down. And it has these ingredients. He's brilliant in his formulations. He put this ingredient saffron, which we have, I think, the patent for Affron, which is from the saffron. It's probably one of the most expensive ingredients out there. It helps with relaxation and calming, and it also helps with our calming our central nervous system as well. So that is why when you're taking one oral strip, and it literally within minutes, it goes from mouth to brain, and you're able to calm down. Your brain will stop on that high gear at night and literally dim it down and relax. So I absolutely love this product. And if you don't have trouble sleeping, I would take this even, because you get into a better night's sleep. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, take it in the middle of the night. I've had a client that's like, well, I wake up at 1 in the morning and then I wake up again at 3. Should I take it at 1 so I don't wake up at 3? I'm like, no, take it at the beginning of the night. And she did. And the next day she came to me and she goes, oh my gosh, Becca, I slept through the night. It was amazing. And she felt rested. So she didn't wake up in the middle of the night. And some people still do. And sometimes it'll take 3-4 days, sometimes a week, for the body saying, oh my gosh, I've been craving these nutrients. I've been lacking these nutrients. I need to take it in. It's taking it in like a sponge. And it might take longer for some people versus others to feel the full effect of it. And I tell you, give it a try. Give it a full month before you say, it's not working for me, because your body might be lacking these nutrients so much that it's sucking it in like a sponge that you need even more. You can even take, 2 right before bed. So I'm going to end with this. I'm going to give you a few tips that you can do to help with a good night's sleep. So one is stick to a regular sleep cycle at night, a regular bedtime routine. Go to bed at a certain time. Let's say you're always going to bed at midnight, but you want to start going to bed earlier. Maybe, go to bed at 11:30 and start making that the norm. And then 10:30 and make that the norm. And then 10, just kind of baby steps down will help a lot more with that. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, anything like that right before bed. Because even if you feel like you are sleeping throughout the night with alcohol or caffeine, I can guarantee you it's not restful sleep. Your brain is still going, your body is still trying to metabolize all of that, and then extra sugar and things. And also, do not eat right before bed, because if you're eating right before bed, what your body is not doing, it's not repairing. It's not getting into that resting, full rest and digest and repair and rejuvenate. It is sitting there digesting the food instead of getting into the repair mode. So going to bed before 10, avoid the screen time. Someone told me that it's brilliant. I haven't done it yet, but if you do it, let me know. So if you have a hard time with the screen time at night, because I look at the clock and if it says 10 o'clock, I'll turn off my phone. I'm like, okay, it's 10. I need to get into my cleaning. So I heard this and it works. Stand up, like in your bedroom. If you're on your phone, you have to be on your phone, like scrolling through social media. Stand and scroll through your phone. I bet you're not going to want to stand. I bet you're just going to want to lay in bed and be all comfy until you're nodding off and the phone's hitting you in the face, right? So stand up and do your social media thing, and I can guarantee you won't be scrolling social media very long, and then put your phone down and crawl into bed. Another thing is to also put your phone on not just do not disturb, but airplane mode, or turn it completely off, because that interrupts your circadian rhythm and the frequencies in the body. And then also in the morning, make sure you're getting the first day sunlight, because this helps reset your circadian rhythm and resets your hormones for the day, and it gives you a lot more energy as well. And then first thing in the morning when you wake up, drink tons of water, because we become very dehydrated at night, and we need to rehydrate to help our metabolism and our hormones and our brain function and our digestion first thing in the morning. And if you've ever gone camping and you were on an air mat and you woke up and it's all the condensation, that's how much water and we lose from our body at night. So hydration. So good sleep patterns at night, going to bed before 10, avoid caffeine and alcohol, get plenty of sunshine, hydrate, and don't forget to take your dream product at night. You're gonna have an amazing night's sleep. So wonderful night, guys. Talk to you soon.